Hey everyone, this is Julie coming to you. It is Friday, and I just watched, she's just started making videos. Sarah, her tag is NerdInOregon. And Sarah, I just watched your most recent video on your concerns and what you're excited about and all that kind of stuff. And there was so much that you talked about that I thought, oh, I want to respond to that. So rather than giving you a 20-page response on your comment section underneath, I thought, you know what, I'm going to just make a video and I'm going to tag you in it, and we'll see what goes from there. So I wrote down a couple of points that you made that I wanted to touch on. The first being, you said you've made the decision to have surgery and now you feel kind of a failure because at this point you're eating stuff that you shouldn't, or, you said I'm watching videos and I'm eating chocolate and that seems, that's wrong. And I wanted to tell you that it's not wrong. It's actually really, really, really common. Most of us, I think, in the weight loss surgery community call it a food funeral. You make the decision to have surgery for people in the States like yourself. Your wait time is a lot less than ours, so you're saying, I'm waiting forever, 9 weeks, but here in Canada, most of us have about a year that we have to go through a whole process, and then we have surgery anywhere between 8 months and a year, depending on how fast you can get through your program. And in that time, especially when it comes closer, like within the few months before you have to go on your pre-op diet, people have a food funeral. They come online or on places like Obesity Helper here, and they say, I have been to every restaurant that I love, and I've been eating all of the food that I love that I won't be able to have after, and you go through in your mind all these, I'll never be able to eat that again, I'll never be able to eat that again, and the list goes on and on. So I wanted you to know it's completely normal. Does that mean that you want to, go buck wild and have everything? No, you want to try to control it as best as you can, because really what the pre-op diet seems to do is gets you off of like carbs and helps you break that addiction a little. And because you're on, well, for us anyways, we're on 2 weeks, at least 2 to 3 weeks pre-op on a OptiFast or liquid diet, and then for 2 weeks after we're on a liquid diet still, and cream soups and that kind of stuff. So by the time you're done all that, you're more than a month out, and you're not eating carbs anymore, and you haven't been for a month. So try not to worry too much about that part. Second thing that I wanted to talk about is some of your concerns. So I wrote down a list of what you said. So your palate changing, it happens. It happens a lot. But I wanted to ease your concern a little bit on that, because yes, although it happens, I can say for myself, and my friend Nikki is at the same stage as I am, and we've discussed this. Nikki's on here as, if you want to subscribe to her, want to look her up, she's Fat and Flabulous. But anyway, she's a week ahead of me. And what I've found with the palate changing is, it's not necessarily that things don't taste the same as they did before, it's that your perception of how it tastes is different. So it's like, I'll give you an example. Bacon. Nikki described bacon. I haven't tried it yet, but Nikki had some bacon, and she, the first bite into her mouth was divine. She was, mmming and ahhing, and oh, this is so good. And then she says, and then I'm chewing and chewing and chewing, and now all I can taste is grease. So it's that kind of stuff. Bacon still tastes good if you eat it fast enough, but since you have to chew so much, it's altered the taste. From a wine aspect, if you wanted to be kind of like a wine connoisseur, or that's, you want to sell wine, so you need to know how they taste and be able to recommend, I don't necessarily think that that's going to be too big of an issue, because you should still be able to pick out the flavors and whether it's forgive me, I am not a wine connoisseur, but like whether it's woody or floral or whatever criteria, so you would still be able to taste those things. Whether or not that wine to you tastes as good as it did pre-op would maybe change. So that's the first thing. Identifying life as a fat girl. I'm not far out. I'm almost 9 weeks. I'm 8.5 weeks. So I'm still at I'm at the beginning stages, right? You'll probably always identify, let me speak for myself. I think I will always identify myself as the fat girl even when I'm thin. I think it takes a long time for your mind to catch up to how your body looks after. And I can tell you that even at 8 weeks out, I've lost just shy of 50 pounds. And I started at 258.4. So I'm just a little bit above 200 pounds now, about between 210 and 215, somewhere in that neighborhood. And even with the changes that have happened in my body so far, I can't see them. I can in pictures, I can with certain things, but to be honest with you, I am the exact same girl now as I was then, and nothing's changed at all. And I'm going to have a video with my husband, and we're going to talk about that, how I've changed for, in his eyes. But I think that part of you doesn't go anywhere. I think you always remember, and I think you always, not that you maybe won't sit on the sidelines anymore, but some people will, and that's, changes based on you and what your changes are. But it's definitely something that I think we can all identify with, and we probably all have still, that fat girl inside of us. And I mean, I still am, and I still, it's still the same for me, but I don't see that going anywhere for me. Survivor's guilt. This one kind of rang a bell for me. Survivor's guilt. What a great way to put it. Honestly, I think the key is to become a gentle advocate. And what I mean by that is, you want to, for those people that you know in your life who maybe need the surgery more than you do, or have worse health problems and that kind of stuff, it's a matter of sharing your experience with them. I work with some people who are quite heavy, some of them much, much heavier than I am, and some who I honestly believe need this surgery badly. So what I have done with these people, and anybody, whether you're fat, skinny, tall, short, I don't care. If somebody is expressing interest, I talk to them about it. So I've just shared my experience so far, so my pre-op experience, my surgery experience, my now post-op experience up to where I am. I'm sharing that with them. I'm letting them know how things felt, how things feel now, how I'm eating, what it feels like to eat now, what it's, how easy or hard it is to walk by something that before I couldn't have walked by. So I don't think that you ever need to feel any survivor's guilt. I think the only thing that you can do, you can't force anybody, and you should never, you know this, I'm sure, but you should never tell somebody that they need the surgery, because it's just rude. But I just make sure that if somebody is expressing an interest at all with me, I tell them exactly what my experience is, and some people are interested in looking into it, and others are still on the sidelines, not sure if it's something that they want to do, and that's fine, that's their decision. But I can't feel survivor's guilt if I've given them the information and the keys that they need to unlock that door. If they choose not to unlock that door, I don't have anything to feel guilty about, and neither do you. And so don't feel survivor's guilt. Just educate, inform as best as you can without, being gentle about it, and only if they're asking. Otherwise, it's not up to you. You've made the decision. You know that it's your, you know what you need to do, and you're doing it. Okay, so then the Titanic reference. you and I seem to be at a really similar stage in life. So I'm 34 as well, and I have 2 kids. I don't know how old your kids are, but mine are, my son is 8 and my daughter is 11. And that sinking Titanic is a perfect analogy for how it really feels. It felt for me anyways. That, yeah, you know, I've always dieted, and I've never ever lost a significant amount of weight, maybe 30, 35 pounds, back up again, back down again, back up again, back down again, that same 30, 35 pounds. And I've been heavy for pretty much my whole life, since puberty, and I started going through puberty at 9 years old. So from 9 years old onwards, I have struggled with my weight. And it has been like trying to find a lifeboat on the Titanic, and I found it. And I had the RNY and or gastric bypass, and I'm doing great, and I feel a lot better, and I have more energy, and you know, things that you take for granted I can do now. You know, cut my toenails and tie my shoes in the front, not with the bow on the side, because I had to twist my leg around. So there's I've got lots of non-scale victories I could share with you, but that was a great reference and a great way to put it, because that's exactly how it feels. And I think probably most people who have decided to go through weight loss surgery probably feel the same. This is a sinking boat. My body is fine. And actually, when I went in for my appointments with the psychiatrist and social worker and nutritionist and all that kind of stuff, and they ask you here in Canada why you're having the surgery, what's your purpose in having the surgery, and my answer to them was always the same. I am perfectly healthy now. I have no health concerns whatsoever. My body is holding up fine, but it will be no time at all. It will be no time at all until that's not the case. And, you know, I have diabetes, heart problems, cholesterol problems, all that kind of stuff that runs in my family, and I really don't want to be part of that. And now is a good time as any to take care of it before it becomes a problem. And that's exactly what my choice was. What else? Yeah, so I mean, I know that you said that you were looking for a lifeboat, and you've now found one, and you're gonna feel bad for people struggling to still find one, but the answer to this is that this lifeboat is available for most people, and it's a good sturdy lifeboat, and as long as you follow the rules and do what you're supposed to do, it's a good sturdy lifeboat that'll get you to shore. You just have to make it work yourself. I think I'm getting pretty long here, and those are all of the things that you're excited about are perfect. You'll find that they happen, and sooner than later. Some of the non-scale victories that I've had have come, like, I'm only 8 weeks. I can't even imagine what they'll be like a year from now. But it's right on board. You're right on board. It's fantastic, and watching your videos is a pleasure. I'm really enjoying them. You're very well spoken, and don't bumble like I do a lot. But you seem to have done your research, and you're watching videos, and doing the research, and that's half the battle. Having the knowledge of how to make this work for you after is exactly what you need to do. So good luck to you, and I'm gonna do my best to tag you in this video so that you can watch it. Yeah, so good luck, and I'll be following you, and hope everything goes good. Bye bye.